In this class, there will be some assignments where you and your classmates have different due dates. Typically, this is going to happen because we're doing a presentation in class and only half the presenters will present on a given day. That means that the other half will present the following week. So far, it sounds pretty straightforward, right? But there's a second paired assignment. This means that in the same class segment, you'll be responsible for both delivering your presentation and delivering feedback to another person or another team. Because different groups present on different days and each group delivers feedback to others, the due dates can get a bit confusing. Let's consider a specific example. There are two assignments, the presentation and the feedback. Now imagine that the class is divided into two different groups. Let's call them Group 1 and Group 2. These groups matter because they impact when assignments are due and they affect the order in which you complete assignments. In fact, while there are two assignments, the due dates occur over 3 weeks. This is why this can get a bit confusing. Let's dive deeper into the specifics of what happens each week. In class week 1, Group 1 is delivering their presentation. Group 2 doesn't have a formal assignment, but they should be in class taking notes on their observations, and that will help them prepare for the assignment that's due before class the next week. This is their feedback assignment. So they're writing up their notes outside of class and sending it both via Canvas to me, as well as by email to the other team. Group 2 isn't responsible to provide feedback to every team, just to one team. And that will be true for Group 1 when it's time for Group 1 to provide feedback as well. What happens in week 1? Group 1 delivers their presentation. What happens in week 2? Group 2 delivers their presentation. And at this point, Group 1 is observing in class and taking notes. What's due in week 2? Before class in week 2, Group 2 should submit their feedback to Group 1, or the team on Group 1. And again, this includes uploading it to Canvas and sending it directly to the student team or the individual student. What happens in class in week 3? No presentations. We're moving on to new content. But what's due in week 3? Well, Group 1's feedback, which they observed and created their notes the previous week, those notes will be formalized into their feedback and submitted to Group 2 or a team on Group 2 in week 3. That should be submitted online in Canvas and sent directly to the student team. So bottom line, what does all of this mean for you? If you're in Group 1, you have work to submit in week 1 and week 3, with one assignment being due each week. If you're in Group 2, your work is compressed to assignments that are due in week 2. Before class, you submit your feedback assignment on Canvas and to the student team, and then in class, you deliver your presentation. So, when someone in class tells you that an assignment is not due until next week, for these assignments, you should be asking yourself, does that apply to me? If you're giving a presentation or delivering feedback, it really depends. Once you know your group, you'll know when your assignments are due. Hopefully, this clarifies due dates for these assignments.